Okay, so I'm in Munnar, and this was on the request of many people who asked me how MG Astor performance is. तो मेरे पास the car is the MG Super variant. Its actual room in Bangalore is 12.5 lakh, and on-road cost is around 16 lakh rupees. तो अब ये जहाँ पे मैं आया हूँ अपनी गाड़ी को लेके, इट इज़ अ प्योर घाट सेक्शन एंड अ माउंटेनियस ड्राइव. इस गाड़ी की काफ़ी कंप्लेंट मैंने सुनी. आई एम नॉट श्योर व्हाई, बट ओके, द कंप्लेंट इज़ अबाउट इट्स परफॉर्मेंस, स्पेशली द इंजन परफॉर्मेंस ऑन दी घाट सेक्शन. तो अभी आपको मैं अंदाजे के लिए बता देता हूँ कि मुन्नार एंड द एरिया विच आई एम इन, सो इट इज़ अराउंड, I'm not sure whether it will be visible to you through my watch. It is around 2600 meters. That is about 7000 feet, and it's a good altitude to test your machine. इससे पहले मैं गाड़ी ऊटी भी लेके जा चुका हूँ, पौंडीचेरी लेके जा चुका हूँ, और अभी जो ट्रिप है ये करीबन 550 किलोमीटर्स की है फ्रॉम बैंगलोर टू मुन्नार. नाउ आई एम स्टेइंग इन क्लब महिंद्रा एट मुन्नार. काफ़ी अच्छी ग्रेडियंट है आपकी गाड़ी. मतलब इवन इफ यू आर टेकिंग टू लद्दाख एंड the Himalayas, it is a good terrain to test. By the way, for your information, I must tell you कि 2600 meter is quite a good altitude. बोलने के लिए तो साउथ इंडिया है, पर ये altitude काफ़ी ज़्यादा है. इसके बाद मैं LAP कोची भी लेके जा रहा हूँ इस गाड़ी को. खैर, that apart, this is a ownership review. I have driven this vehicle for about 5,500 kilometers. And today I am on a trip of about 1000 kilometers again to this altitude, that is about 2600 meters. So this is about the ownership. I will talk about the engine performance. कई लोगों को complaint है इसकी engine performance से. Second, I'll talk about its handling qualities. That means how good, bad or ugly is this machine vis-a-vis the driver connect and the dynamics of the car. I'll talk about the ride quality, that is about the how this behaves to the external environment and the road conditions. Okay, so there's quite a good steep and slope. Okay, so let's start with the engine performance. Now before that you need to know, okay, so before I tell you that how is the performance of this machine, you should know which other cars I have driven, so that you get a relative comparison when I talk about good, bad of this machine. So one of the cars which I personally love to drive was the Chevrolet Optra, which is of my elder brother. We recently sold it after Chevrolet left out and there was no spare part available to it. That was a benchmark of engine performance. So other car which I have driven is the Toyota Glanza. Again, that is of my elder brother, another elder brother. That I would have driven easily for 4,000-5,000 kilometers. Chevrolet Optra I would have driven for some 7,000 kilometers whenever I go to native. I belong to Uttarakhand and I'm serving in Bangalore. So the another car which my eldest brother owned, that is the Tata Tigor. So that also I would have driven easily about some 4,000-5,000 kilometers. Another car which I have driven personally in Bangalore before this machine, which we lost in a serious accident, was the Grand i10 sports variant. That I have driven for some 22,000 kilometers. The first car was the Tata Nano for our family, and that I have driven in mountains for almost about 15,000 kilometers. So this also tell you I do have a very good experience of driving and of different cars. So based on that, I will tell you how the Astor is. Now this is the super variant which I have. It is fourth from the base. The base is the Style EX, then this style, then comes the Super EX, and then the Super. Above it is the Smart and Savvy. Okay, so this is 1.5 natural aspirated engine, and this is a manual transmission machine. I always love to prefer manual over the automatic. That's a personal choice anyhow. So let's start with the engine performance of this machine. Now I have taken this machine to Ooty last time. This time I'm in Munnar. I will attach the videos, the kind of terrain we are encountering here. It's quite good. It not only tests the man but also the machine too. It is such a terrain. So with that, I will tell you that the engine performance is moderate. Now what does that mean? That it solves its purpose. You don't expect extraordinary power out of this machine. It does its job well. For a 1.5 liter natural aspirated engine, what you expect is available. I have taken this machine with about I think 4 or 5 passengers to Ooty, and it has now obviously when you are driving in mountains, it is without AC and it does its job pretty well. However, I must tell you that it is not the best in the business in terms of engine performance. If you want that, like for example, my benchmark of performance is the Chevrolet Optra. That was a 1.6 liter engine. Now that was a charm. So if I have to rate this engine vis-a-vis that, I would say it probably is 70 or 80% of the best of it. Now that also means it is not a bad engine, but yes, it is not the best in the business. Okay, so if you are an enthusiastic driver who love to push the pedal hard and wants that sweet push and sudden acceleration from your machine, probably it might not solve your purpose. However, if you are a family driver, it does a fair job. So your criteria of purchase should be purely based on that. So that was about the engine performance. If you look for the Creta and Seltos in the same category of naturally aspirated engines, I would say it does a fair job. It is at par with them, maybe slightly less, because for that you should understand the fact that this machine in RC, it is written the curb weight of this machine is around 1275 kgs or 1270 kgs. That is 1.3 ton. Whereas for the Creta, the same weight is about 1080 kg or 1100 maximum. So you are carrying almost 200 kg of a weight extra with the same engine capability, isn't it? So obviously power to weight ratio goes in favor of the Creta. But then the criteria to buy this machine should not be that. My criteria was, now that extra 150 or 200 kg also has a positive side, that it comes with a better safety structure. It has more structural strength to it. So that is always a compromise. Engineering is about optimization. If you want a performance, you might not certainly get a better power to weight ratio. Okay, so that was one part of it. The bottom line on engine performance is it does a fair job. But yes, for an enthusiastic driver, this is not the machine. But for a family car, as a family driver, it does it should be in your list. It will not make you unhappy. Okay, second is we'll talk about the dynamics of the car. Okay, I'll stop for a while. I think second thing I'll talk about is the dynamics of my machine. Now this machine, if you ask my opinion, is fantastic over such terrains. Look at these terrains from where I brought this. It is a pure ghat section, and believe me, there is nothing called rollover, even though it is SUV. But the kind of proportion it holds, you look at its proportion, it's very European. The same kind of structure you will find in probably the Audi and the BMW. And the cross section, if you look at the cross section, its movement of inertia is pretty good for the roll axis, and that ensures that it gives you that feel of the European cars. especially while driving on ghat section. You would be happy. The suspension is extremely good for those bad roads. So yes, it is a good choice for the off-road terrain. It cannot obviously do it because pure off-roading, because it's like any other car like Creta or Seltos or Kushaq Taygun. But dynamics of this machine vis-a-vis compared to the other, I find it to be a notch ahead. I have tested Kushaq and Taygun. It is fantastic, and in this department I would actually rate it quite high, maybe probably a 9 star out of 10, especially in handling qualities. That means the dynamics of the machine over the ghat section and the suspension. Now let's talk about the transmission. Okay, now let's talk about the transmission of this machine. So in my opinion, this is a big miss from MG for this car. Now this is a 1.5 liter and a mid-size SUV which is competing with Creta, Seltos, any other car except the Maruti and the Toyota, that is Hyrider. Every other car has a 6th gear, and this I find on the highways a big miss. I would have actually loved to have another gear. So this is a 5-speed manual transmission, and I feel this is a miss from MG, and it should be updated. The transmission has to be 6 for this big of a car and with this performance. So I feel sometime you want to cruise at 110, so that time your RPM rise up to 3000 or maybe some 2500 to 3000 depending on the terrain. There I feel that if a 6th gear would have been there, this car would have been close to 2000 RPM and would still be cruising in 3-digit. So in my opinion, a 6th gear transmission would have suited this machine better. So this criteria, this is one place where this lags, especially compared to the Creta, which is a benchmark obviously in terms of sale, and the Kushaq and Taygun, which are for the performance. Now let me talk about the overall ride quality. Okay, before that, I think one very important thing about this machine is its interior. This is the department, fit and finish, build quality. I'm talking about the interior build quality, where you see the contours between the different panels being placed. So it is this department where it beats all other cars. There is no other car, in my opinion, which has the same quality level, interior or exterior. Look at the grille of this machine. Look at the headlamps. Even from the base you are getting the LED headlamps, these jewel kind of formation, and this integrated DRLs and the indicators, the fog lamp placement, the overall proportion and the interior quality of this machine, no doubt, is fantastic. You have leather here. You have all soft touch. This is also leather. It appears like a plastic, but it is not. Steering is very well. This is all soft touch material, all leatherite leather. Now this is where you will find the fit and finish and the build quality. Look at this. This is all metal running out here. So this is the quality what I'm talking about, where Creta, Seltos, every other car does not come close to the Astor, and it will make you feel a very premium car compared to those machines. It does appear that you have spent your money well when you sit inside this machine, and when somebody else is sitting inside your car, there is no doubt that this is a good car overall. Okay, now let's talk about a very important department for which was my first priority to buy this car, and that is safety, and should be part of your criteria whenever buying any car for that matter. Now we'll talk about both primary safety and the secondary safety of this machine. Primary safety are the features or devices that help you avoid an accident, for example electronic stability control or a rollover mitigation. Whereas The secondary safety devices are those that helps you in the event of accident. For example, the build structure, for example, airbag. So impact has happened and then it pops up to help you out. So let's start with the primary safety, and this machine is jam-packed. Rather, it has those features which other car does not even think to provide you at this price point. For example, the collapsible steering, which is a secondary safety feature. So in an event, if you meet an accident of head-on and your airbags are not guaranteed to open, so a collapsible steering will ensure that the steering does not reach to you. This is not very common in Indian cars. It comes in costlier vehicles. So these are the features what I'm talking about. Primary safety devices like the electronic stability control, rollover mitigation. These features, safety features, are coming from the base variant in this car, whereas Creta, if you see the initial two variants, the base variant are not offering you the same features. Seltos does come with, but its NCAP rating is poor. If you talk about the secondary safety features, then this machine score equally good. However, it doesn't come with the 6 airbag in the base variants. It starts from, I think, the Chevy, which is the top end. However, I still don't consider airbags to be that important, as much of importance as the structure of the car. You know, Kia Carens is a 3-star machine, although it comes with 6 airbags from the base. So that's what I mean. And if you take the rating of this car, now this is not global NCAP tested, however it is Euro NCAP tested, where it is scored 5-star, and I believe it has the same structural strength as its European counterpart, or what it is being sold in Europe. This is because if you see many videos which are there on internet, it clearly shows the build structure of this machine, even the Hector. So in that sense, this gives you a sense of confidence, especially with respect to safety. This is a big miss in the Creta and Seltos, and was one of the criteria for which I have avoided them. Now you talk about the Kushag and Tygoon, they are the benchmark now, 5-star, both adult and child occupancy. But what is a big miss, I'll talk about later why I did not opt it for any of these cars. Now we'll come to the last important point. What people look for is the service. Now my experience, I have already done 2 free services, and I'm about to clock, I think within this year I should be able to clock more than 10,000, so I'll go for the 3rd. Now my experience has been pretty good. I have experience of all those cars which I have mentioned previously in this video. The worst is the Tata, obviously. Hyundai is a benchmark in service. I like their response, their hospitality, the kind of behavior they give you, and the fear what they have, especially when you say I'll put a mail to Hyundai directly. So compared to that, I would say it is fairly good. MG gives you a very good service, and since they does not sell very high numbers of their car, it is just 4,000, 5,000 every month. So their outlets and service personals are easily, so you will not have that problem what you face in the Maruti and the Tatas, where they are sold like a hot cake. There are so many number of cars that if you book it now, your service will come next month. So that's not the case here. You drop your car in the morning and it will be ready for the delivery to you by evening. So service, you will be happy with it. Now finally, I would put across why I did not opt it for the popular cars of the segment. Let's start with the Creta and I rejected because I was not looking for a top end machine. I was looking for some moderate machine in the mid section. So I find a lot of safety feature missing in that car. Moreover, it has become a part of a herd, so it will not give you a peculiarity even spending 15-20 lakh rupees. It is with everybody. Like for example, Royal Enfield Classic 350 is with every other guy in Bangalore. Now that is more common than even the Splendor in Bangalore. So I did not want to be the part of the herd. Moreover, safety was a big criteria for me to say no to the Hyundai, because I lost my car miserably. Now, for example, if you see this, the adjustable headrest is a very important thing for me, because the injury what my brother had in that accident was because of the fixed headrest, which is a cost cut from Hyundai. That was a Hyundai Grand i10 sports variant, second from the top. And there also they have done such a petty cost cut, which tells you that the inclination of the company is not towards the safety. So that's the reason to say no to the popular Creta. Then comes to the Seltos. Again, the reason I believe the Seltos is a very good package put together in terms of primary safety and secondary safety devices and the overall presence of the car. However, its poor global NCAP rating of 3-star made me to say no. Now let's come to the Kushaq and the Taigun. I went there. I find those machines dynamics to be really good, and performance was good. Obviously the safety, Germans don't compromise about it, but the interior quality of the car is in a dire state. They have matched the level of the Tata in that sense, that the interior build quality is bad. If you touch this, there's some sound coming out here. The panel is loose. If by mistake your legs goes inside, the central panel will actually starts to move. Moreover, the size of those cars, it doesn't give you a feel of a 15-20 lakh rupees. However, those are the cars where you just enjoy. It is a driver's car. The Kushaq and the Taiguns are the driver's car, but not for the family, and they does not justify that 20 lakh rupees tag. If you put Taigun next to probably Venue, you will notice that from outside their proportions are very similar, and both will give you a similar feel and category feel. Whereas the price the Taigun is coming is just the twice of the Venue. So those were the reasons why I left. I actually was willing to go ahead with the Slavia, because that's a car which appears seriously good for the price you are paying it. But because my wife was more inclined to have a SUV, so we dropped the idea. Now comes to the Maruti Suzuki and the Toyota Hyryder. Both are the same machines, but again safety is a big no-go for me. It's a safety compromise, I always feel it. However, since both of them are on the Global C platform of the Maruti, which is slightly better than the hard tech platform, but after having been through such a incidents, I decided not to go with the Maruti. Toyota Hyryder is just a Maruti under the hood, except those design variations. So I was left with the Astor. Now the bottom line for those who are looking to buy Astor, and why you should go for this and why you should not. First, if you're looking for an overall good car which justify your pennies, I believe this is that machine. But if you are an enthusiastic driver, and if you look for something out of the machine over the highways for a driving pleasure, then probably you should not go for it. Then Taigun or Kushaq should be your choice. But overall, if you're looking for a premium car that gives you a rich feel, from inside. That is moderate at engine performance. Transmission is okay. I feel slight miss, but overall package as a family car, as a family SUV, I would say it's a good machine to go. I hope I have answered the questions which were put to me, and this video will help you out. Now if you like this video and want more such videos, I would expect a thumbs up from you, and would be happy if you subscribe to my channel. Like this video and share with the friends who are looking for a C segment SUV.